Hello and good morning, Blighted Asylum refugees. It is I, Blighted Mike, from the Blighted Asylum Discord server, the unofficial fan group for Blue Planet Recontact. Anything about the older version of the game, anything about the Kickstarter, this is it. And as stated but postponed a lot because life is life, I'm doing a review of the Kickstarter fulfillment. Now, just to get the discretionary portion out of the way, there's been a lot of scuttlebutt as far as when these items have been delivered on Kickstarter fulfillment, depending on the different companies you're dealing with, either in the United States or across seas, about how they're being delivered. First and foremost, the damage concerns. Rest assured, you are not alone. I've also endured this, and I'm going to present, as I've just taken it out of the packaging, fresh, and proof that this will be the first time I'm actually removing the physical books. They still have the plastic wrap on the physical books, but I did remove the outer container. I shall be showing you up close pictures, as stated here. This is very up close, but I'm going to pick up the phone. So this is the sleeve that the two books come in. Wonderful artwork. I'm so happy they have this updated version as opposed to the older books. Not that there was anything wrong with the older books. However, it's really nice to be able to see the creativity put into this. It's a sizable two-book sleeve on here. And for the majority of it, it's not super damaged. I will show you the one damaged portion I have. I've seen worse from other people that posted up on our Discord server. I do have damage on the upper right-hand corner, and on the box that came shipped over here via UPS, there is physical damage off of that. It's not the worst thing in the world because that's not the side that's going to be facing out on my bookshelf, but nevertheless, you are paying to get a premium product, and I feel this should definitely be addressed. Have reached out to Alan from Gallant Knight Games, the publisher. I'm not sure if they own the current IP or if that falls under Jeff Barber. But as far as the Kickstarter fulfillment, concerns have been issued to him. If you have issues with your delivery, please feel free to go on to the Kickstarter, and under the updates, you'll be able to see on there, I believe it's around 86 or 87. I could be wrong. If there is, I'll put a notation under the posting, but it has instructions on how to get in touch if you have any damage concerns. So, going forward with the books, this is the corner that it came in, and that is also definitely damaged. Not horribly, but not enough to have a major issue concern with opening a book. That was to my player's copy. I love the artwork. This artwork is amazing. And the moderator's guide. Another quick picture of the damage. But we'll get back to that in a moment. Let's go with moderator's guide, because another concern that was issued on here is about the physical pages in the books. I have been collecting TTRPGs and playing them at least for 29 years. I'm going to spin this because, I could do that thing because I need two hands. So I have been playing and collecting. Started with World of Darkness in, I want to say 96-ish. But all different types of games, all different types of genres, from fantasy with Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder, to very niche items. And I would say this product is definitely unique that fits that category. But I'm happy that I followed through on it. I'm happy I found the Kickstarter in the first place. I didn't think the continuation of this brand was going to be possible, but it was. I love the little biohazard icon on there. It definitely rounds out the book. A bit on the back also. Blue Planet. Spin the sucker up again. So you open up the book and you can definitely see it. The glossy finish automatically. But it does have a much thinner, I don't even know how to describe it, but paper finish on it. And you have to be very careful because it does have that type of consistency where it seems easier to rip. Not too far off from tissue paper, to be honest. And I'm not super fond of that, but as I described on the Discord server, we are in a day and age where a lot of people carry around their core books and supplement books in PDF. And even at table games I go to, I'm one of the only people that still shows up with a hardcover copy of books. I will say at least the printing is decent. I don't see any fading in the coloring. I have seen a couple of people post comments about the coloring and the blockage leaking through. It's not that different from the inking that I've seen from games kind of like Eclipse Phase through Chaosium, that they have that type of consistency, but you can definitely tell the paper is very thin because I can see the backside here very easily, and the bottom side of this sheet isn't even illuminated. Short of that, everything is clear, clean, crisp. Don't really have any complaints as far as that. I will say as soon as you open the book, you can definitely tell it's a brand new book, a very strong smell. It isn't a horrible smell, but you can tell, especially if you're a book aficionado, it has that scent. Yeah. And again, the artwork. The detailing they put into the maps is very, very extraordinary. I am very happy that this product actually arrived a couple of weeks ago. Don't have any major complaints aside from the page strength as of now. I will see. I don't know if it was in this guide or the player's guide, if they did an update and just another shot of the maps. The maps are fantastic. I'm not sure if it got corrected with the hard copies. I'm not seeing it in this, but I will check in the player's guide. We did ask for a character sheet to be put into the books. And I believe they had a character sheet on the PDF. And I don't recall offhand if that got updated or not before shipping. But they only had one side of a character sheet. And the other option was to have a form fillable version. For people that are very familiar with programs like Adobe or any other PDF editing software, I'm sure it's not that hard of a thing to set up. But for people that are not computer inclined, I will say that definitely it is imperative to have a form fillable PDF, or at least an option on how to print up copies of a character sheet. Otherwise, you're going to be doing it live. As the fancy kids say, I will bring up the damage again, and I will be one of the fine individuals that's going to figure out how to file a complaint. since I did spend a lot of money on this. Definitely my corner smashed up. I wouldn't care about the physical deficiencies on the exterior of the book, but only because it could eventually affect the binding over time. I would prefer to get a clean copy. And again, I don't know if this falls under the publisher, shipping company, the distributor, how that remotely works. But again, same page consistency, and you can see the bleed again from how thin the pages are. The Blue Planet Recontact title, but you can see it right through that. I think if they do a second printing of this, they should definitely look for a upgrade at least to the page consistency. As you can see, publishing Alan Barr, creation Jeff Barber, development Jeff Barber, Greg Benaj. A little quick summary. The Recontact edition, first edition of Blue Planet, was published in 1997, the year after I started playing TTRPGs, by Biohazard Games, and a second edition was introduced by Fantasy Flight Games in 2000. Steve Jackson Games published their GURPS Blue Planet conversion in 2003, and FASA Games published revised second edition in 2012. It is now 2025. Let's see. You can definitely see here also. I didn't even put any emphasis on that page, but you already have pages that, because of the thinness of them, they will get a memory built into them just from being bent. So again, the page viscosity should definitely be taken a look at. But much like with the Moderator's Guide, I'm not seeing any major issues. Lovely artwork again. Definitely one of the more unique concepts for a tabletop RPG I've seen. I definitely love the general concept and the storytelling opportunities that come with this type of subgenre of hard sci-fi meets open world exploration. You can start the campaign, even though it's not really built into this version, but from older versions, escaping Earth, and the journey to get to Poseidon, the actual transport from Earth to Poseidon, space traveling wise, the journey, landing or crashing on Poseidon, however you choose to interpret it, the point of view from multiple aspects, as far as the corporations, the geo marshals, the natives, as I like to deem them, the blighted refugees that are trying to get off of Earth, part of the selected 1% that gets chosen to be put onto the shuttle. They have a history from what happened from the start up until they finally land on Poseidon, and it's actually pretty far back. It goes into real world space history up until our current stage-ish, between 2019, a novel coronavirus spreads in a global pandemic, ultimately infecting over 500 million people and directly causing more than 6 million deaths as it circulates, mutates around the world over subsequent years, jumping to 2030. The disputed Kashmir region between India and Pakistan is rocked by waves of violence, attacks by regular army. Forgive me, I have to pull this back because I can't see with a glare via the camera. And paramilitary forces from several sides brings the economy to a standstill. And then it starts the fictional history going from 2030 forward. I know some people are not going to be a fan of adding real world history and politics into games. Some people are into the realism. This is definitely a definition of a hard sci-fi. It is not super fantasy. It's not Star Wars. It's not Farscape. If it relates to anything, it would be very loosely on remotely Star Trek-ish, but if you were watching the prequel with Scott Bakula of how our technology advanced, or anything involving Traveler, those would be the two preferences I would put to the type of technology that gets pushed into the beginning of the Blue Planet lore. Yeah, overall, I don't have an issue with the content. I don't have an issue with the artwork. Everything is laid out very well. It is definitely something that I will be doing much more deep dive reviews on, but just for the opening and addressing all the damage issues and the physical pros and cons. That is something that hopefully will be resolved in the upcoming months, or at least the first year. Thank you very much for watching. If you have not been able to figure out what this whole shindig is about, please, if you are interested in Blue Planet Recontact, you can find them on Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is over. However, there will be links on there, not only for how to follow up with the game, but how to get onto the unofficial Discord for the Blighted Asylum, hosted by myself at Emmett Walsh on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. Come join a group of individuals that love to not only talk about the lore and history of the game, and they are passionate about the game, but they create their own homebrew content. They run sessions on there, and we look to expand this product as much as possible. Thank you very much for attending this review, and again, I will be doing a lot more deep dives into the book. This was more just a physical unpacking and first thoughts. But take care. Have a great day.